Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the show, TRENDSKE. It's yet another Thursday, the 5th of August. The year is 2021. Time is moving very fast, and I'm glad that you're moving with us. Welcome to this show. As always, we have a lot that is planned for you ahead in this show. And first off, we are having a discussion tonight. As you had been informed earlier, we have a discussion. As you can see, we have a discussion tonight on the show, and we will be hosting, the lady by the name of Susan. There is the right poster that I was to use. We are hosting Susan. She's going to talk about life of a teenage mother, and not just that alone. She has her story, which she will be telling to us, having been a teenage mother, and she started a foundation. She did not let that pull her down. She started a foundation that is dealing with teenage sexuality and reproductive health. So have your questions ready in that aspect as we begin this show tonight. I hope you're ready for that discussion and much more that is ahead of us in this show. So tonight, just so much has been happening, as always, on the trends segment, and that's what we shall be getting into very fast. But first off, this is the alternative voice. You have to follow us on our various social media platforms, and we shall appreciate, because that's where you're going to get all our updates, including the news updates that we do every other day. So the athletics have been happening, and Team Kenya has not been very much on the right path, apart from the last few days where we have started seeing a few medals coming in, and we had gold yesterday coming to Team Kenya for the very first time in the Olympics. And the Kenyans, their career came with a medal, the first gold for Team Kenya, and just another silver. That was back-to-back gold and silver in the same race. That's Team Kenya. Team Kenya represented us very strong, and as you can see, apart from winning medals, Kenyans are the medals themselves. Can you just have a look at that picture and see? Those are Kenyans, very much alert, and the rest of the people they are with in that race are on the ground. Watu wamechoka, but Wakenya kina nani? Watu ni wagumu, wanakaa ngumu. Wana venye wamesimama, the rest are down. Wakenya ni watu wanakaa ngumu. Speaking of Wakenya, ni watu wanakaa ngumu. I want to show you another aspect that will prove to you that Wakenya si watu rahisi. Wakenya ni watu wanakaa ngumu. Have a look at this. This is our guy, and this post was put up by a lawyer friend whom we hosted on the other day on the show. Yani Wakenya ni watu wagumu. Mkenya ni mtu anaweza kupiga kofi ya uso mpaka ina trickle down. Kofi inateremka mpaka kwa mkono. Yule jamaa alipigwa kofi ya uso, lakini alionekana na bandage kwa mkono. It is that bad. And the person who did that was none other than Kimilili MP Didmas Baraza. Alipiga mtu kofi ya uso ikatokea kwa mkono. And that is very unfortunate of a leader. If at all that happened, because zile vitu unaona kwa kamera zinaweza enda koti na sema, you people made this up. If it happened, that was very unfair. Speaking of very unfair, there is a very unfair incident that happened somewhere in the course of this week. And the unfairness here is that the unfairness in this is that there is this lady who went to see someone. Yeye aliitwa akaitika, akaambiwa kuja, mimi nitalipa fare. But then what happened? The lady went, then akakwama kwa gari. That's the lady. She's stuck in the car. She has not paid the fare. It's very unfair for her and very unlucky of her. Sasa, and this is where it gets to a point. Alafu unapata jamaa wetu anaitwa nani? Kuna jamaa wetu anakuanga kwa kipindi fulani pale kwa TV anakuambia enda na mtu size yako. Unaenda kama wewe ni Subaru, enda na Subaru. Achana na tuktuk. Kwa hivyo that lady decided to take a taxi, but then she could not pay, and the person who had called her was not there to pay. Na hivyo ndo kulifanyika. She remained hanging in the car. On the other side, this other one decided that she will not go, but she decided to go and visit the animals in the park. This, as you can see there, that is a very wonderful lady there viewing animals in the park. That's a random picture, but then it reminds me of my science teacher back in primary. Aliniambia the arrow points to the eater. Somewhere else, there are two ladies of very rich fellows who have decided that they will sponsor gender equality. Baada ya kuachwa waliachwa wakaachika, but they have decided to contribute a whopping 4 billion Kenya shillings towards gender equality. That's the ex-wife of Bill Gates and the ex-wife of Jeff Bezos. Hivyo ndo kunaenda, by the way. They have decided to sponsor gender equality. Those ones, they are wives, ex-wives of very rich men in this country. And schools were opening sometime this week, and part of last week, people are going back to school, and this week people are reporting to Form 1. Na wale wanareport kuna watu walionekana wawili wakienda, niseme na ndege ama kwa ndege, walienda na ndege shuleni. Kuna kijana mmoja pale vile unavyoona kwenye picha lako, pale ni Eric Omondi, lakini si Eric Omondi ambaye nilikuwa nataka kuonyesha. Kuna kijana fulani aliwasili. The boy landed. So huyo kijana alienda na ndege shuleni. He just landed there at Maranda High School. Na pia kuna kijana mwingine pia alienda na ndege shuleni. Hao vijana wote wawili walienda na ndege. Mmoja alienda kwa helicopter na mwingine alienda na kuku. So, and it has caused some very sensitivities on the internet among the two pictures. But this first picture from the report we have, it's that that boy was being taken to his school by Raila Odinga, and I think we have a clip here that will. That is actually how the guy landed back to school. And we were speaking of someone who lacked fare ya kulipa taxi, but then unaweza kuwa na fare na pia na ukuwe na ndege yako na bado hauendi mahali. Sometime this week, the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, Mr. William Samoei Ruto. Jamaa alienda pale, alifika, aliwasili kwenye uwanja wa ndege, lakini akaambiwa you are not boarding. Miguna was telling us that he is not boarding, but now the deputy president was the one being told, man, you are not boarding. He was supposed to head to Uganda, but he could not board because they are saying there are clearances that he was supposed to make, and he did not make those clearances, so hangeweza kutoka. Lakini yote 9-10 anasema ya kwamba wacha tumwachie Mungu, maana rais wetu naye alikuwa mahali wiki iliyopita. He was in the UK and he got a reward. He was told to travel home safely in this wonderful car. Have a look at that. That's the gift that Boris Johnson gave to the president. Alimwambia wewe travel na hiyo polepole. That's actually a toy car. And they're saying it's because of the successful event that Kenya had during the safari rally tours that we had sometime in the year. So thank you very much for those of you who are still tuning into the show. Let me just remind you of that conversation we are having in a few minutes time. We are having a conversation with our guest tonight, life of a teenage mother. She's going to talk to us about life of a teenage mother that's based on her own personal story, and as well, she will be taking us through that discussion of how can you talk to a teenager. If you are a teenager, you have to listen. If you have a sister or a brother or a son or a daughter, this conversation, just listen keenly so that you know what would you tell that teenager in regards to the conversation around sexuality and reproductive health, because so much is happening recently. So much has happened, and just recently there was this lady. That decided to leave. As you can see on that poster there, the lady left the home with, I don't know if it's the mother or the grandmother, because the lady is very old. Alimwachia watoto, akasema yeye ameenda, and she did not come back. Actually, she hasn't come back up to the last time I followed that story. Ameachia huyo shoshoa watoto wake. And the story has it that she got pregnant when she was in school. Then she left. She left the child at home. She went back to school. Then after going back to school, she again got pregnant. She left school, and then akaleta huyo mtoto mwingine akaacha hapo and disappeared. So our conversation is around that, and we shall be bringing on board our guest tonight. But before that, let me just finish up with the trends that we are having, and by informing you about this kid that we are having here just a few minutes, and we are done, and we get into that conversation. Let me tell you about this. Have you heard of Titi Comedian? This little kid is doing a wonderful job on the internet. He is a comedian, very young. Now, huyo kijana alipata tuzo, and the reason I'm bringing this up is because so many celebrities are really struggling. Huyu mtoto amepata hapo tuzo yake bila kiki, haja struggle, but he's doing a great job. If you haven't watched him, you can go look out for him. But then other comedians, our comedians are really struggling na kiki kubwa. Rico hapo anatuambia sijui ako na ndege karibu ngapi. Others, we have a young man called Rington. Sahii ametuambia anaenda South Africa matibabu. He was alipigwa na rungu, lakini we don't know so much about that. We don't know so much. You know, Kenyan celebrities will do anything, and we don't trust them anymore. Something happens tomorrow, unasikia ameangusha ngoma, but that kid is doing amazing job there, while most of them are really just trying, wanajaribu kupiga kiki sana ili tuweze kufuatilia stori zao, and that is about it. I don't know, my director, if we are having our guest on the show. We have really taken so much time on the trends, and we will be back on the trending topic sometime next week. So tonight, as I had informed you, we have our wonderful guest coming up on the show. I'm talking about Susan Wairimu, and Susan, there she is. Good evening, Susan. Welcome, and thank you for joining us on the show tonight.
Thank you so much. Hi.
Hi, welcome to the show, and let's just start off this discussion immediately. And the first question that I will ask you is that this whole discussion of teenage sexuality, from your end, who is supposed to take part in this discussion? Because mostly you will realize that most parents are not really playing a bigger role in that discussion. So my question to you is, who in the society is supposed to start or be part of this conversation on sexuality and reproductive health of teenagers?
Okay, thank you so much. Actually, this is a topic that everyone has to talk about it, because to affect sisi wote, be it the young people, the youths, the older people. It's a conversation that we need to have it as a society. And for me, I do it out of a personal experience. I am a young mother. My daughter is 4 years right now. I got pregnant when I was still in school. That was in 2016. I was still that young girl who is curious. I want to explore everything. I am in high school. I need to focus with school. I also need to listen to what my friends are talking about. And the reason as to why I am saying that it's a conversation for everyone, for me, I got pregnant out of peer pressure. Because I had my friends in school, we would talk about matters to do with boyfriends, and you're there asking yourself, why don't I have a boyfriend? Am I really okay? So you find yourself getting into a situation, you want to have a boyfriend so that when you're with your friends, at least you also have a story to tell. At the moment you have a boyfriend, you don't know what to do with this boyfriend. So if it starts from a young age, as this child grows up, hata akitaka na kupata boyfriend, they know who your boyfriend ni wa kazi gani.
Yeah, and speaking of that, let's say now this is a parent, and mostly teenagers actually have a certain attitude towards their parents. Sometimes when the parent tells them something, depending on the way the parent approaches them, they feel like this old person is trying to get in my way. They don't want me to enjoy the finer things in life. So let's use, for example, your story. How would you have wished that someone would have approached you to bring forward this conversation about the aspect of sexuality, for the case of a parent who doesn't know how they can approach maybe their son or their daughter on the same?
Okay, at times there is how I want me to be told about sex and sexuality, and there's also how about my parent wants to tell me about it. For my case, I was raised with my mom, and I am always grateful for her. And we were living in the slum. I am raised at the Ngong Mathare slum. And you find it at times it's hard for your parent to even start a conversation. I mean, this parent anatafuta pesa, you're there hustling, so it never even hits the mind of the parent that I need to be discussing about this. And you find that most parents think that when I talk about sex and sexuality to my child, I am introducing them to it. But for me, as I am doing this, I don't do it at I tell you now go do it. Apana. I am doing this at a point which if you want to go have sex with your boyfriend, you know the consequences. For me, I got pregnant. It didn't hit my mind that when I engage into sexual activity, I even don't know about anything to do with contraceptives, that I will get pregnant. But you see, if you start talking to them at an early age, the moment they get to that, they'll know, okay, if I have a boyfriend and we get married, I will get pregnant. If you don't do it, I will choose to focus with my life and all will be well. So it is best if parents, we just have a normal conversation. The way you talk to your child that we are going to school, start that conversation with them.
Yes. Yeah, sure. And you've actually brought in the issue of contraceptives. There are some parents who actually don't think that is an option, and also religious leaders, if they are to be part of this conversation, most think that the issue of contraceptives it's actually a no-go zone. What should be preached is the aspect of abstinence. Do you think it's high time that parents decided to embrace it and tell their teenage daughters and sons that they can actually use contraceptives if it has to get to that extent?
Okay, for me, I am that person who believes in personal choices. You will come ask me about anything, and from the little that I know, I'll try to advise you. But I won't tell you, go use a contraceptive. I won't tell you, go do this and this. I will give you the options. Make a decision for yourself. But there's also the aspect of while we are doing the mentorship, because we go to schools, talk to girls in schools and also the boys, we advocate for abstinence. That's what we advocate for. But reality still hits us that our teenagers are growing so fast. They are being exposed to a lot of things, the kind of music they listen to, the friends they hang out with. And by the way, one thing that parents will be shocked about is that if you don't talk to your child about sex and sexuality, they will hear it from their friends. They will see it in the movies that they watch. They will see it in the games that they play online, the music that they listen to. So I think right now we are in a world where youths wamekuwa exposed to a lot of things. It's actually very scary, but it's a matter of choices. Make the right choice. If you get into the positive consequence, well and good. If you get to the negative part of it, you will now have to handle it as an individual because it's your life.
Yeah, and actually, mostly, the parents actually might be fearing from what you're saying. They might be fearing to tell their children what they already know.
Yeah.
Something that they already know probably from their friends. And before we move ahead, there are people who are already tuned into the show, and we shall be getting, if there are any questions that they have. Let me see if those questions shall be loading. And we have Helen Marura, who is tuned from Kenya. This is a well-deserved talk. I wish we could normalize such talks on teens. Thank you very much, Helen, for your contribution. Mutua Eliphas is tuned in from Lalongo. I love the wisdom oozing from here. Blessings. Thank you very much, Eliphas, for tuning in. Daniel Chaka, it's a timely discussion. Looking forward to hear. Thank you very much, Daniel Chaka, tuned in from Kochi, India. Hi, Suzy, Tuwila Diaries, amekusalimia. Bill Hajoy is saying it's time we stop sugarcoating. Sugarcoating. Okay, it's time we stop sugarcoating things and let our teens and twins know things as they are. Exactly. Thank you very much. Eva, all the above is saying such a brilliant young lady. Good job. Thank you very much. And Desmond Kebogo is tuned in from Runda. Hiyo Runda iko na abbreviation, sijui inamaanisha nini. Sean, yeah, following at Embakasi, Nairobi, Kenya. Thank you very much. Don Apple Chaka is saying, hello, Sudo Kike, tuned from Kochi, India, loving the show. Waiting to hear from our guest. And here we have our guest who shall be continuing to give us more. Nimjuku Araila Ama, please repeat. No, I don't think so. He's referring to that story that we did there. All the way from where you belong, bigger brother, TRENDSKE. Thank you very much, bro. Augustine Ilondanga for always tuning into the show. And then Francis Maina is tuned in. So still I can't get, there are no questions. So we shall proceed. You have a foundation which you have started, which is Inspire Teenagers Foundation. And just what are the kind of things or activities that you take part using that foundation, the Inspire Teenagers Foundation?
Okay, thank you so much, and thank you for the comments that are coming in. Yeah, it's an amazing audience. Keep those comments and questions coming. Yeah, so I started the initiative 2 years ago, and as I said, I am a young mom. That is actually the whole motivation and inspiration behind it. For me, I used to be that girl who was wanted to serve in the community, do everything. But now when I got pregnant while in school, while doing for my KCSE examinations, I am actually one of those people who are counted huyu alifanyia mtihani akiwa hospitali. It was not easy. Nowadays I smile about it because I overcame it. But during that time, it was not easy. You can imagine you're pregnant, you are in school, you're waiting for your examination, you've left your mom back in the slum, you even don't know when you get this child how you're going to handle it. The stigmatization in school, because now everyone has to talk about it. But still, you have to close your ears and focus on how you will finish your examinations. So when I finished my examinations, I now felt like me and my life, we are done. Because that's what happens to most girls. The moment they get pregnant and give birth, their dreams are cut off. You have no dreams of going to college, pursuing your dreams, all your passions. You feel like you're now a disgrace to the community. And that is what I felt. And I was ready to now start life like other young women. Maybe get married to someone who will take care of my child. Because you see, I am just done with school, no husband. And now there you can't start depending on your mother. But when the results came out, my principal was still had hope with me. And I was wondering, what is wrong with this lady? I am a mother right now. But she told me she believes in me and that there was something in me. So she requested me, why not think of redoing your exams again? Because I didn't perform quite well. And I went back to high school, sat for my exams. My baby was around 3 to 4 months. Good thing my mom alikubali kukaa na yeye. Sat for my exams again in 2017. And now in 2018, I now wanted to go to college. And the only course I would go to pursue was community development. Because my heart is in the community. And I knew once I have this certificate, I'll be able to approach organizations and work for them. But now in my second semester, I had to stop because school fees to be transferred to another college. So I felt like now me and my life, we are done. Let me now start thinking of how I will take care of my child. And yes, I hustled like any other young girl there to raise my child. But in 2019, I sat myself down and I was like, Susie, you have the passion.
Yeah.
You have what it takes. You don't have the resources, you don't have the university certificates to present to people, but you have your story. You can inspire someone out there. What are you going to do about it? And I started talking to one girl. Them amepata ball pale in the slum, they don't know how to go about it. And I am like, by the way, I am in the same situation as you. But where I am right now, manze, there is hope. So you see, you found someone who was very low, but they can
Yeah.
relate with you. So I could also go to children's home, talk to girls, and I will get so much satisfaction. But again, I came to realize that for me, I got pregnant out of peer pressure. But other young girls are getting pregnant because of other different reasons. And one of the other reasons is lack of a sanitary towel, mostly
Yeah.
for the girls who are in the slum. And I experienced that for myself. So I was like, what can I do about this? And that is when I told myself, Manze Suzy, you need to do something about this. And I had created an audience on my Facebook account because I will share my story, my experiences, how far I have come, how much I am trusting the process to get to the top. And all that's
Yeah.
why I started a campaign to mobilize sanitary towels for the girls. And the moment tulienda kwa ground, pale, yes, we saw the situation there. It was actually not so good. You will hear stories from girls, from young mothers. You're having a child, you don't have a stable income, and every month you need to have your periods. Ukienda pale uhustle and get 200, are you going to buy a sanitary towel or you're going to buy food for your child? So I
Yes.
decided in my own small ways, I am going to fill that gap. And that is how Inspire Teenagers was founded, out of passion, out of personal experiences, and out of also God who helped me to do this.
And on this foundation, have you been able to get people who help in the funding, or how do you fund the foundation?
Okay, so I depend on friends. I don't have people who I can really depend on, and at times you find it so hard to do the programs because you don't have enough resources. I am still in school right now. My daughter is in school, but you find it very hard to do the program. So the little I get is what I do for the girls. When I have it, we do it. When you don't have, we tunacheza chini. Yeah.
Uh, yeah, let's get a few questions here. Cleophas is asking, what are some important lessons you have had from the experience of having of being a teenage mother? What are some of the lessons you've gotten from that?
Some of the lessons are actually very tough. Because one, you need to learn how to be independent. You're having your child is depending on you. You need to know how you're going to provide for them. You need to start thinking on your own. And actually, one of the biggest lessons I have learned is I have had to grow.
Yes.
I am now 22 years old, but people tell me I behave like a 30-year-old. Because manze, you have to mature. You like it or you don't.
Yeah, and uh, about the foundation, actually, I went through your profile and there are some photos that I came across, and one of them is this one here. Can you tell us about that?
Oh, yeah, that is Zuri Awards. I was honored. It was during the Women's Day. So it's an award that they recognize young women who are doing exceptional work in the community. and that is when I nominated myself, and it was a very tough competition. Now that is where
Yeah.
the power of believing in yourself comes in. Like, I deserve this. Even if someone doesn't nominate me, I am going to nominate myself. I went for the interview, and I was honored for the little things that I do in big ways. I actually just deserved it. Yeah, I was in the Young Achievers category. Yeah, I am a young person who deserves it and who
Yeah.
has the passion to do more.
Wow.
Yeah.
Congratulations on that. I'm here speaking for the boy child on the Inspire Teenagers Foundation. What's there for the boy child?
Okay, so as I was doing this for the girls. But
Yeah.
again, I came to realize that we can't be doing all this without the boys. So actually recently, during the menstrual hygiene day, is when we did our first program with the boys, because we are trying
Yes.
to end period shame, period poverty. But we are having our brothers at home, someone like you're having your sister when they are having their period. How are they going to go about it? Are you going to be there to help them? So we did actually a program as we were distributing sanitary pads for the boys. We also distributed the boxers for the boys, and getting to tell them that you are part of the community, you are part of us, you are our sister's keeper, and we get to learn a lot from them. And that is how you see, when you're trying to end teenage pregnancy, the girls don't get pregnant by themselves. They get pregnant through the boys. So if you start
Yeah.
talking to the boys and telling them that this girl has a life to live, you also have a life to live. So that is where we bring in the conversation.
Yeah, sure. And as you have said, it's a conversation that actually the whole society is supposed to take part in, because if you leave it on one side, it will be costly because it will keep recurring. And that's actually a problem that Kenyans have had for a long time. When a problem comes up, uh, it starts being an issue of throwing an issue of blame games. This one should do this, this one has done that, and actually, that's not the way. Everyone is supposed to play a part in this. And there are still comments coming in. I can see there Job Simba is Kisi Nyancho Barracks tuned. Thank you very much, Job. Dilha says, I understand how the program can be costly. She also runs a foundation and she does understand how that is costly. Yes, and Cleophas is saying, upon becoming pregnant as a lady who believes on choices, did you ever think of keeping the pregnancy or doing away with it? Did you get to a place where you are thinking, should I keep, should I abort?
I think this is one thing that comes in the mind of any girl who gets pregnant the very first time. Because you're there asking yourself, like for me, I was in school. I am asking myself, if I go back to the slum with this pregnancy, how is my mom going to react about it? How are people going to talk about it? I need to start my life, build a life for myself. Now I am having a child. I need to start thinking of myself and the child. Should I get rid of it? The thoughts actually came, but the moment I was able to tell my mom, of which I didn't tell her, it's always hard for someone to tell their parent, but at least get someone whom you can trust. In the moment, my
Yes.
mom, well, she felt it was not the right thing to do at that time. But again, she told me a child is a blessing. You're not going to do away with it. We will keep that child, finish school, and whatever you choose to do with your life, it's now up to you. So now, from that, I didn't have the choice of getting rid of it, I now had the only option of keeping it. Yeah, so the thoughts come, and I would just like to tell any other girl out there, keep that child. That child is a blessing. Nowadays, I see my daughter and I'm like, oh God, she's my motivation.
Yeah, sure. And we have a question here from Bill Hajoy, who is asking, what are some of the challenges she's faced so far?
Okay, thank you, Bilha. The challenges are actually a lot. If I start with my own personal, I am doing this for the girls. I still have my own challenges. I need to raise my child. I need to finish college. I just joined college. Actually, I am doing my NEC exams right now. I am doing the exams still with the college school fees balance. But again, I am keeping faith and telling God that God, me, I'll do this. You just make a way. So you need to run the projects. You see there's a problem in the community. The little cash that you get, you actually find it very hard to balance your finances. Should
Yeah.
I should I pay for my daughter's school fees? Should I pay for my school fees? Should I buy a sanitary pad for this girl? Should I pay for transport to go listen to this girl? So the challenges are actually so much. The first one is resources. Without resources, it's very tricky to do this. But with passion and with the little that you have, it becomes very easy to go about it. And also the resistance from the community, because you find at times most people do community work, and people might start thinking that huyu ni nini anataka, is there someone who's funding you, what are the motivations behind this? So at times, before you start explaining to people that I am doing this out of my personal experience, I have seen the problem that is in the community, I want to address it, it's very hard to change people's mentality. At times, me, I have been giving up and saying that I am not doing this. But again, I am like, if I don't do this, who is going to do about it? I don't want to be one of those young people who just complain about anything and everything. I do what I can with the little that I have.
Yeah. And speaking of that, the communities within which you work, what are some of the areas you have reached, and what are your plans on the areas you would want to reach with your foundation? And then how many people approximately have you been able to impact so far?
Okay, I started it in my home area, the Mathare
Yes.
slum in Ngong, but I have moved to the Mathare slum where we have done a couple of activities, close to 10. We have gone to Geshagi, which is also a Kaslami area still in the slopes of Ngong Hills. There's Ololua, there's Mbulbul. So the better part of Kajiado North, we've covered that. I have been to Mukuru kwa Njenga. I have been to Kisumu. I was actually in Kisumu last month at a
Yeah.
school there. We were celebrating Day of the African Child. And this month, we are having plans of going to Kitui. We've gone to
Wow.
the interior parts of Kajiado
Yes.
County. Yeah, so we have moved in those areas. And so far, approximately, I've been able to reach 2,000 young girls and young women. And half of this number was achieved during the period of COVID, where girls wamefunga shule. Some of them were depending on the sanitary pads from the schools. Now schools are closed. Where do they get them from? Their parents are at home. They even can't afford a packet of a sanitary pad. So you were able to distribute sanitary towels during the period, and also talking to the girls. And we also distributed food to the needy families who were affected with the COVID situation. We distributed to close to 100, where we got an organization, Together for Better, who supported us And all the sanitary pads, we got them from friends and we were able to distribute them to the girls.
Wow, that's a very great number of people you have reached there. And yeah, another question that I've wanted to ask you: how are you able to manage between taking care of your daughter, managing school life, and as well as planning for the events of the foundation? Do you have a team that you work with? And how do you personally manage to juggle between those very many tasks?
Okay, I have a team. At the times we want to impact the community. At times you do things by yourself because you're the one who understands your vision and what you want to do. I have people who have been supporting me all through since I started. There's actually the vice chair. He's called Silas Amandos. He has been supportive since I started. I have a team of ladies who have been behind me. But most of the times, I find myself there by myself. I need to work out on things. I need to be in school. I need to take care of my child. So I am that girl who just multitask. During the weekdays,
Uh, we have a problem there with your connectivity. And so let me just go through a few questions, not actually comments, not specifically questions, comments for those of you who have been tuned into the show. Samuel Okech, sawa sawa kijana anasema wow, this is nice, blessings. Sawa, hizo salamu zangu utanitafuta baadaye. Thank you very much, Sam. Who else? Questions we have or comments? Look, that's Sparrow is saying there is a breakdown. Yeah, we've noticed that with the guest. There is a breakdown. Susan, your initiative is godsend. Keep on at it. You are doing much for the community than politicians. Barakatele. Kuna ukweli hapo. I'm happy to see young girls like Susan being empowered and allowing others in to feel the same. Go girl from Bill Hajoy. Thank you very much, Bill Hajoy. And Caroline Omolo is following the show. Thanks, Nicole, for tuning in. The Millennial Christian for choosing live. Congratulations. That's there from Julie, the Millennial Christian. Sparrow there saying great interview. Thank you very much, Sparrow, for tuning into the show. And thank you very much. Peter George is tuned in from that place. Thank you very much. PG, tulisikizana. Sawa. Thank you very much, Peter George, for tuning into the show. Who else is any comment we are leaving out before we close the show? Because I can see we are moving to the end. And as we continue with those comments, Staprov, thank you very much, Staprov. There is one thing here that I want to just bring to your, to notify you just briefly here. This is, as you can see, iconic logos. If you want them, that is Sharplex Design. Go and look for Sharplex Design online. You will find their contacts, or you can contact the Alternative Voice if you want animations and logos or any forms of design that is required. If you need them, please get in touch. There is a very great work that is done on that platform. Just follow that Sharplex Design on Instagram and see the amazing 3D animations that are done there, and as well as logo and poster designs. So just get onto that platform and see the amazing work that is done on it. Thank you very much for tuning in to the show. And you can also make an advertisement with us, the alternative voice. So to advertise with us, you have the phone number there. That's 0719 63 45 48. You will get in touch with us and place your advertisement at a very minimum price, a very friendly price for those of you who have been following us. So get in touch with the alternative voice for you to get an advertisement on our platform. Very cheap, tutafute. Tafuta alternative voice pale inbox on all our social media platforms. And then we are here to bring this home. Thank you very much, Susan, for actually being on the show. I'm very sorry for that hiccup that has occurred there. The last question, as we take it home, do you have any regrets having gotten a beautiful daughter? I saw her there on a certain photo which we have, but I haven't shared. Do you have any regrets? And then your last remarks as we finish the show.
Oh no, I have no regrets at all. Because, she's the motivation in anything that I do. For me, just thank God for her. I pray good for her, and I will never regret her. But what I do is from experience, I cannot want any other than what I have gone through. Because as much as I'm grateful, I have been through that.
Yeah, thank you very much. I actually, from what I've gotten, she's saying she has no regrets at all, but she has learned a lesson that will be able to teach another person not to go through the same. So if you have a sister, a brother who is a teenager, just find the best way to go and communicate to them. Have this conversation, make it a normal conversation so that someone does not have to learn it away from home. Because when they learn it away from home, it might not be the best lesson that you expect. Thank you for tuning into this show tonight, and see you next time. Susan, we missed you there, and you are finishing up.
Yes, the hiccups, but I hope you can get me. Yeah, so it has been a good journey. I am grateful, and it's just up to anyone. If you see a problem in the community, see how you can be a solution to it. You might not have the resources at that moment, but try the little that you can. So you guys, feel free to reach out to me. Let us help the community, and let us change the lives of our girls and our boys.
Yeah, thank you very much. You can reach out to Suzanne at Suzy Wairimu on Facebook, Instagram as well, Suzy Wairimu, and also you can reach out on the Inspire Teenager Foundation on the social media platforms. Thank you very much for coming to the show, Susan.
Thank you so much.
Mtaani Quick Auto Spa. We welcome you to Mtaani Quick Auto Spa. We are mobile cleaning experts and we come to you. Our services include pressure wash, steam wash, snow foam and gentle hand wash, wheel and rim cleaning, tire shine, engine and body wash, vacuum, carpet cleaning and much more. We apply encapsulation method to attack all forms of dirt and debris, which guarantee you the best results. We are consistent on quality services at affordable prices. Book an appointment now. You can call, text, DM or WhatsApp 0710 587 285 and we will come to you. All payments will be made via M-Pesa. Follow us now on our social media platforms at Mtaani Quick Auto Spa. Mtaani Quick Auto Spa. We come to you.